Gege has done an amazing job for the layout of this colony. Ever since the first chapter of the Sendai colony, it was established that the remaining sorcerers are in a deadlock. With the arrival of Yuta changing all of this, as he's gone through the colony, it's been more so hinted at the remaining sorcerers having compatibility issues with one another, causing the deadlock. For example, the Sky Lady countering Ryu, the cockroach countering the Sky Lady, stuff like that. Then with Yuta's curse technique being revealed as copy, he was able to abuse this exploit to pretty much dominate, and that's what he does here in his fight against Ryu in defeating him, with it being a very fire chapter. Very impressed by Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 180. Chapter 179 left a lot of people in the fandom fairly disappointed as we didn't get to see the freeway domain expansion. We were cucked by a cockroach, but this chapter is definitely some absolute fire with the battle of Yuta vs Ryu. But before I continue, if you're new here and enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, it's greatly appreciated. That's what I provide on this channel. Now, let's get into the chapter. So we get it 100% confirmed that even when Yuta and Rika fully manifested are working together, their maximum power is still slightly below Ryu when it comes to cursed energy output, which is incredible. That means Ryu is truly an absolute monster. Just think back to Volume 0 of the movie. When Rika was fully manifested to help Yuta fight Geto, they absolutely obliterated Geto and his curses, with some of them being considered special grade. If Ryu is even above that, he is definitely one of the top tiers in the whole Jujutsu Kaisen verse that we've been introduced to so far, which is pretty crazy. But Yuta's plan to overcome Ryu in this situation is to build up his cursed energy first and attack before Ryu can reach maximum output or maximum power and defeat him when it comes to that. However, due to Ryu's, of course, past experiences, he had a similar idea and they clash with Ryu being superior in this aspect. But again, Yuta is all about those tactics as well. He may be monstrous when it comes to cursed energy, hacked abilities, but he can also combine all that together for a very solid and OP strategy. He gets close to Ryu with Ryu letting out another blast directly on him, and then right in time his copy technique recovers, allowing him to use the Sky Lady's technique again. As I mentioned at the start of the video, that pretty much counters Ryu's blast quite easily, but he sends the initial blast into the air for later on why this chapter is truly goated. And of course, this leaves Ryu stunned, with him questioning what are the conditions and restrictions on Yuta's copy technique, something we've all been thinking ever since it was officially confirmed. What's the strict condition? How can he fulfill that condition? Everything like that. He's just getting mind broken by this ability. Hopefully we get it revealed at some point, because I would love to know how truly OP it really is. But after that, he lands another technique from this Sky Lady directly on Ryu, known as Thin Ice Missile. She used it in this panel earlier during a previous chapter, making Ryu cough up blood, and then without delay we have Rika landing a direct punch on his head. But again, Ryu is bleeding all around, but still is more than strong enough to punch Rika away and continue fighting close combat with Yuta, showing his insane durability as well. But do take note, after they both land their attacks on Ryu here, their 5 minutes of the super buffed up form of Yuta and Rika has now run out, so the fight has been going on for quite a while, most likely due to the whole domain expansion situation, cucking a lot of the time there. Ryu punches Rika away, she's out of the picture now, then fighting close combat with Yuta. They seem to be quite relative in this situation, but more so due to Ryu's injuries, as in a previous chapter when they had a close quarters exchange, Ryu kinda dominated, so most likely from the previous attacks and his cursed energy getting limited as the fight's gone on, he's in a weakened state here. But of course, Yuta had that strategy from the very start. The blast he sent in the air earlier is now returning and hits Ryu directly, and he has won the fight. What an absolute madman. But above all of that, Ryu decides to die standing up with his hands in his pocket and saying, "Thank you, I'm full now." So yeah, truly an absolute mad lad. You gotta respect that, and what an absolutely goated fight. So the question is now, what's going to happen now? We don't know whether this Sky Lady is actually dead. I would like to say she is and that this colony is over, but something crazy could very well happen, but she did lose like an arm and did take a direct blast from Ryu. So I think it's safe to say it's over and Yuta has acquired the victory, at least to start, because he was planning to take out Kenjaku at some point. Maybe Kenjaku just arrives after this, that would be some insanity. But I think we're going to cut away to someone else shortly, which could be pretty interesting. We still have Megumi meeting with the Angel. We haven't seen Yuji in a while. Or we could cut to Hikari and Panda, who are going to a separate colony, and we may get to see the fight between these two, which I actually made a video on if you want to check that out. But that fight's also going to be pretty high, considering that character has some connection to Sukuna, so cannot wait for that. However, we do have some unfortunate news. Jujutsu Kaisen will be on break next week, so this will be the newest chapter for a little bit. Unfortunate, but if it is for the health of Gege, take as many breaks as he needs. This chapter is absolutely fire. This whole, colony was absolute fire from the start to the end. And I'm expecting to see a freeway domain expansion battle at some point in the future. That will truly be some insanity. I've been thinking about the possibility of this whole arc ending with a freeway domain expansion battle between an amped up Kenjaku due to other reasons, a released Gojo, and Sukuna or something crazy like that. Imagine the insanity of that. That's where Jujutsu Kaisen will truly break the internet if we got something like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this chapter. I really enjoyed this Sendai colony. If this is the end, Ryu is an absolute Chad lad. Sky Lady, we like it for certain plot reasons, if you know what I mean. Cockroach, not too much of a fan of, because cockroaches, bugs, ain't nobody like those. The old man at the start, fodder, and of course Yuta truly being goated. I don't think there'll be too many people disrespecting Yuta now after this chapter, considering some stuff I've seen in the last few weeks of chapters. Yuta is truly worthy of being one of the strongest characters in the series, and someone who, of course, may potentially surpass Gojo in the future. We'll have to see what happens. And to truly understand how much power he still had left. Yes, the 5 minute of amped power up ran out, but can he just put the ring back on? What are the limits regarding that? If it's a minute or so, imagine the insanity of that. How much curse energy, or how much can he still use his curse technique even after fighting this long? All these questions that will most likely be answered in the future, but can't wait to see what happens from here. If you haven't already, make sure to check out all the other stuff in the description. Shout out to the Mad Lads who support the channel via the Patreon. Let me know down below what other videos you want from me regarding Jujutsu Kaisen. And yep, that's it guys. Peace.